good morning for me in my country. It's midday, but I think there it's good evening, you know. It's a pleasure to be here with colleagues in this important conference, in the second Global Traditional Medicine Conference, with this very opportunity team, Nature is Boom. I want to share with you some plants, some ethnology from my country, Brazil. So I will share with you this letter called Plants, Oils, and Medicinal Soaps of Trombetas Territory, Amazonian Bioeconomy. As Dr. Kumar said, I am professor at Federal University of Western Pará. So we live in this biome called Amazonia. This biome, the Amazon rainforest, is a type of forest, of climax forest, you know? One of the last climax forests of this planet. Is beyond its floristic diversity. So, because many people talking about Amazonia only because the climate disturbance, but has more things important than, or is equally important than climate. So the forest is a large living pharmacy in the open sky for traditional populations, and these traditional populations are the extractivists living there. The Amazon biome has approximately 4 million 197,000 square kilometers and about 40 species of plants. And part of this flora has medicinal properties, as in the Congo, and for many generations are used by forest peoples. So we have a high diversity, a rich flora diversity. But who are these forest people? The forest people, the people that live into forests, are Afro-descendants, indigenous people, or riverside populations. These three classes, three groups, different groups, has in the common that they live in the forest and they need the forest, of course, about the climate, but more than climate. They need the forest for their survival. And let me see the other slide. So the objective of this work was to describe the traditional medicine practiced by populations of Afro-descendants living in Trombetas territory in a city called Oriximiná, in a state, Pará, where I live, in the north of Brazil, in the middle of the Amazon forest. The methodology of this research is exploratory research. It's not a deeper research in ethnobotany. One of my passions, ethnobotany. Even I am plant physiologist. So this kind of research is a type of exploratory research based, of course, on the principles of ethnobotany, that is, in appreciation of traditional knowledge. The landscape was Afro-descendant territory that we call the Quilombola territory of Trombetas. Trombetas is one of the rivers of the big Amazonia watersheds located in Oriximiná City, Pará, Brazil. The leader of this group of Afro-descendant people that live in the forest in the last 4 centuries, the leader is Mrs. Maria Expedita dos Santos. So this is the local. I get this picked on Google. Oh, excuse me. I get this picked on the Google Earth. This is the Trombetas River, and this is the forest, the rich and big Amazonia forest. And the Afro-descendant people live into these forests. This is the geographic points, coordinations. In these slides, I want to share with you the products that these people, forest people, extract from forest. They extract seeds, almonds. Here, this is a seed of Astrocarium murumuru. Is an arecacia, a palmeia, and they extract oil from palmeias. So they extract 23 different types of oils. Of course, it comes from 23 different types of plants. But one of these plants, the genus Copaífera, the species Copaífera reticulata, and Copaífera reticulata is the more important plant species for the local bioeconomy for these people. And from these oils, a group of women do prepare some medicinal soaps. So this slide pointed the high diversity of products from forestry. And because of this, the forest is important for our planet. The climate is important. Okay, it's important, but it's in the same time or in the second, because before climate, we have people, and the people has this traditional knowledge. And because of them, and because of these traditional people, we are here now, today, in July, discuss about ethnomedicine. So we just are here because has some ethno knowledge behind of this event, of this conference. So it's important for us, and not only forests, but all other ecosystems. You know? So some results of this research was, the first results show that the practice of traditional extraction oils, fixed or essential oils, from 23 plant species are used medicinally to at least 4 generations. So in these results, we understand that the forest is very important for this population, and all kinds of disturbance as deforestations. Unfortunately, we have in my country these problems, like deforestation, like fire, because fire is the traditional way to prepare the soil for cultivate. And so anyway, this forest is very important for this purpose. The second result is a group of Black women also doing natural and medicinal soap for various pathologies, such as skin cancer, mouth cancer, urinary and kidney infections, diabetes, tuberculosis, malaria, hepatitis, osteoporosis, leukemia, and other diseases. So these results realize that the forest is more than a diversity of plants. The forest is a real farm of these people, because these people, these populations live very far from town. In specifically case, these people live for 10 hours from town. So how 10 hours from hospitals, so by boat. So the farmers, the forest, the Amazonia forest or Amazon forest is very important for traditional or original populations, because for their survival. The third result is about the species, no, the plant species. So the medicinal flora identified from this exploratory research by ethnobotany methodology was Laurus nobilis, Vismia guianensis, Protium epitaphyllum, Genisia excelsa, Esquinus terebindifolius, Copaífera reticulata. I want to highlight these species. I will detail more in the next slides about it. Ceiba pentandra, Aniba rosiodora is a species that are critically endangered because of overexploitation. Phytopetalum olacoides, Aniba canelilla. I will give some highlights about Aniba canelilla. It's an important species that has linalool. It's important aromatic species. Cariocar villosum, Calicophyllum sprucianum, Brosmocufolium, and many of palms, many of Arecaceas species, like as Oenocarpus dísticus is an Arecacea, is an palmea, Oenocarpus bataua, Bertholletia excelsa is the famous. No, I don't know if you know the Brazil nut. You already eat Brazil nut? So it's a delicious. It's a Bertholletia excelsa, but you can extract the oil from Bertholletia excelsa. Euterpe oleracea is the famous purple drink. You know them? It's called açaí. It's an Arecacea too. Astrocarium murumuru is Arecacea, Astrocarium pleatum, and Ricinus. And the fourth, so look at this, all these species, 23 species, the traditional population, Afro-descendant population, extract oils and do some soaps, medicinal soaps. The fourth and last result is the catalog of medicinal plants that I did with them as a strategy, as a tool to promote bioeconomy, to promote local bioeconomy. So from this catalog, we share with national or international industry companies from pharmaceutical or cosmetic sectors. This is very important to valorize the appreciation these plants. So some of these 23 species, because about the time, I selected just 2 or 4 species, 3 species to share with you. One of them is Copaífera, the genus Copaífera. The genus Copaífera has 72 species, and only 16 of which are only found in Brazil, as Copaífera officinalis, Copaífera guianensis, Copaífera reticulata, and multijuga. These 2 species are found in the Amazon. Copaífera confertiflora, Langsdorff, coriacea, and cearensis. So endemic species of Copaífera genus in Brazil, in Amazon forest. So the Copaíba, it's not only a simple oil. The Copaíba has a oil resin because this resin is found in all secretory channels located in all parts of the tree, especially on the trunk. So in this free picture, I shared with you, colleagues, the tree. The Copaífera is a very tall tree with 30, 40 meters height. When you do a hole in your trunk with an anchor, with ozone, when you do this hole, the oil comes. So it's a very aromatic, have a strong smell, and with different colors. We think that we don't do this research yet, but I think that we have different chemotypes chemotypes of copaifer, and the color of the oil resin is different from the 3 different seasons. So the water stress in my region, we have a water stress in this month, July, August, September, and October. And in some species, react by this water stress. And the kind of the reaction is producing more more oil, more solute to equalize the water stress in plants. So it's I invited my colleagues here, the phytochemistry and chemistry colleagues to work to research about copaiferum. The oil resin of copaiferum has different medicinal uses for healing, anti-inflammatory, anti-hemorrhoidal, purgative, cure paralysis, headaches and seizures, psoriasis, leishmaniasis, and many other diseases. So they use also this oil resin is usually in perfume industry as a fixative with fresh notes. And at the same time, the oil resin is used in the cosmetic industry as an emollient, bactericidal, and anti-inflammatory with anti-inflammatory properties. They use by soaps or cream. And finally, the oil resin is used by varnish industry as a dryer, as a drying. Yeah. This picture shows the way the traditional population, the Afro-descendant people export the oil. They export it in this kind of containers of 5 liters or less than this. And these you can see different chemotypes of copaiba. They call it his copaiba cajuaçu. It's more clear. The oil resin is more clear, and copaiba called piquiá, that is more dark. And so the copaiferous sesquiterpenos, alpha guaiano, beta guaiano, and others. No, they have 72 different sesquiterpenos, alpha copaeno, beta copaeno, and many others. No, and has alpha bergamoteno. Yes, we can highlight these sesquiterpenos. So this species is very important for aromatic sectors because it has these components. Of copaiferum oil resin are these. So you can see these acids. Acid copalic, acid acetoxicopalic, acid copaiferic, and acid copaiferolic, and many others. The next species that are Canelilla, popular known as precious bark or precious leaf, exactly because the bark and leaf are used for medicinal treatments. So it's an aromatic species and belongs to Lauraceae family. Used in traditional medicine as digestive and respiratory diseases, inflammatory problems, painful central nervous system disorders. The forms of use are tea or decoction orally. The essential oil is a natural antioxidant for food preservation. And also, Aniba canelilla is used in the cosmetic, perfumery, and pharmaceutical product sectors. So these the dry leaves, the tree, the leaves, fresh leaves of Aniba canelilla. So Aniba canelilla has linalool. It's important for cosmetic sectors or perfume sectors. About phytochemical constitution of Aniba canelilla. She has 1-nitro-2-phenylethanol, methylagenol, eugenol, safrole, anabase, ambien, tannin, alpha-pinene, beta-pinene, and other components. And linalol, as I told you. So this is, we have other species that has linalol, specifically in Lauraceae family, but many of them, as IP, are critically endangered. Aniba canelilla is not endangered until now. So the medicinal uses of Aniba canelilla is as it's used as antioxidant, antinociceptive, anti-inflammatory, cardiomodulating, hypotensive, hypnotic, anxiolytic, anticholinesterase, and antibiotic properties. Aging-related diseases treatment is used in this treatment, and in diseases, neurological and degenerative diseases. But more interesting is that the Aniba canelilla has a high sun protection factor, about 20.25, about 90.25, and extract of leaves. The extract of leaves of Aniba canelilla protect our skin in 90%. So very high and a good option for local bioeconomic, for cosmetic industries. The third species is Carapa guianense, or crabwood. The oil seed come from these nuts, these almonds. This is a tree from Mediaceae family. The traditional medicine used is against fever and rheumatism, an anti-inflammatory agent, antibacterial agent, and insect repellent. The fat in the oil seed of crabwood are myristic, palmitic, palmitoleic, margaric, stearic, oleic, linoleic, linonelic, arachidic, gondoic. And this is some links of good reviews about crabwood. And the last species that I want to share with you, colleagues, in this event about ethnomedicine is Dipteryx odorata, or tonka bean. And tonka bean, the seeds of tonka bean, we can see here, it's rich in hexadecanoic acid, docosanoic acid, and many other compounds. The polar fraction of Dipteryx odorata has butanoic acid, propanoic acid, and ribitol, mannose, arabinose, and others. The uses of tonka bean is as a tonic to increase libido, treat cramps, nausea, cough, convulsions, tuberculosis, scandering due to chronic illness, and schistosomosis. So coumarine is one of the main important compounds. And coumarine is harmful when consumed in high dosages. Synthetic coumarine has actually been established as a coumadin, a substitute of coumarine, and as is a potent anticoagulant. It's used in cancer, chemo prevention, and for acaricidial activity. And the last result is the plant oil catalog that I can elaborate to them, to these populations, because many clients are not national people. So this catalog, we group species in 3 groups. We organize the species in 3 groups. The species that can give oil from seeds, almonds, and fruits, then we have 10 species. The oils that come from woods that are falling in the forest, we have 20 species from wood, oils from wood, not from leaves. And in the third group, we have the plants that oil come from secretory systems, as Copaífera sp, and Proteum epitaphyum, as called breu. So we detected 23 species, medicinal species from Amazon forest. But today we just share with you 4 species and consequently 4 production chain. So we have Copaíferous production chain, Carapa guianense or crabwood production chain, Aniba canedilis production chain, and Dipterix odoratus production chain. Tonkabin. And these 4 species, just 4 species into 23 species, they have different uses as medicinal, as pharmacological, as foodie, as cosmetic. So these 4 sectors of industry can increase the local bioeconomy. So this kind of conference, the second Global Traditional Medicine Conference, is a very important event because it is a space to share the flora or pharmacopoeia of my country. And I was talking with Dr. Kuhlman that it's very important in these scientific events as this conference, that you can invite other sectors, sectors from cosmetic, medicinal, pharmacological companies, CEOs from these sectors, because I think that the dialogue could be more reaching if you have different sectors to discuss. Of course, it's lovely to be here with scientists, colleagues, but I think we have to maybe increase or amplify this discussion environment. So I told before when I started this conference that this conference is important because nowadays we are discussing too much climate disturbance. Our planets are in transition. We don't have to increase more than 1.3 degrees Celsius and blah, blah, blah. Of course, the climate is very important, but in the same time, in the same level, it's important to discuss traditional peoples, traditional knowledge, and ethnomedicine, ethnobotany, because without forest, we don't have climate. Okay, but without forest, we don't have the survival of the traditional peoples or forest people. So it's important converse with these because we can share our scientific problems, but not a purely scientific problems. It's important that we can apply. I'm very worried about this. I'm plant physiologist, so I'm come from a purely science. But in the years, in my last 25 years of work in the university, I change from purely science for applied science. So sometimes it would be not more interest for me meters how much CO2 for micromoles of CO2 for square meter of living per minute, some species kept from air. Sometimes the ethnobotanists will be more important for me. So I think that it's very important, this event, and this is we have to conclusion my presentation, share with you my worries, and the importance of the Amazon forest to traditional populations goes far beyond the global climate balance, but rather its conservation is determinant for the health of forest peoples and therefore for the strengthening of the Amazon bioeconomy, the non-dissociation between forests, traditional people, and of course, the traditional knowledge, bioeconomy and climate is therefore perhaps the only local and global alternative to the sustainability of our planet. Okay, thank you.